Hey everybody, you're watching Bull, Boom, Bear Bust. My name is JJ, back with another dose of economic reality. It is Friday. Hope it's not a freaky Friday. Hope it's a fantastic Friday for you. It is June 16th, 2023. Let's talk about what's happening in the economy. We've got vacant hotels in San Francisco. The question is San Francisco the next Detroit? Detroit, Michigan. Anyone that looks back over the past few decades knows that Detroit has seen a significant decline from the 70s, 80s. It was a very vibrant city, the world's largest automobile manufacturer at the time. Well, you look at Detroit now over the last 20, 25 years, and you see a crumbling infrastructure, empty buildings. We know what happened to Detroit. The question is San Francisco the next Detroit? Take a look at what happened with a couple hotels in San Francisco. Take a listen to this. Park Hotels and Resorts announced it would cease making payments towards a $725 million non-resource CMBS loan, which is scheduled to mature November 2023. The loan was secured by two of its San Francisco hotels. One is a 1,921 room Hilton, San Francisco Union Square, and 1,024 room Park 55, San Francisco. This is in the heart of San Francisco, folks. This city is dying. My question is, what's going on with the leaders, quote unquote leaders, of these cities? Let's give out free needles. Let's let people poop on the street. Everything's so expensive there that homelessness has skyrocketed. But it's more than just the cost of living. It's what's happening. Homelessness is exploding pretty much everywhere. But why so much worse in San Francisco? Why are they having to have poop cleanup teams come and scoop up stuff on the sidewalk? It is a nightmare. It's a nightmare city. I think in the end, San Francisco could be a lot worse than Detroit ever was, even at its worst. Now, Detroit, downtown, has seen a bit of a recovery, but if you drive around, I've seen the videos and also know some people in the area. If you drive around, you'll see blocks and blocks and blocks of vacant homes. Once the auto industry died, nobody really wanted to be there. Now we have the tech industry dying, and it's just the beginning, but I think the tech industry is going to be a fraction of what it used to be when this all is finally finished playing out. Now get this, remember subprime loans? Listen to this. The interest-only loan, we're talking about the hotels, the interest-only loan was originated in 2016 by Chase and sold into the CMBS investor market. Wells Fargo is now the master and special servicer for the loan, which was placed on a TREP watch list in 2020 for mortgage-backed securities at risk of default. So it appears we did not learn anything from 2008. What they did in the housing market was done in the commercial real estate market. Interest-only loans on a $700 million hotel. How crazy is that? Now, here's how we know it's going to get a lot worse. More than 30 additional San Francisco hotels must deal with loans due in the next 2 years, the San Francisco Chronicle reported. So everything is propped up on debt. These hotels, they wouldn't be there without borrowed money, without money conjured into existence via the lending system, via the fiat currency, fake money digital system where you click a mouse and you create money out of thin air. Hotels wouldn't be there. Many businesses wouldn't be there. Many of these corporations wouldn't be there. This is all propped up on debt, folks, from commercial real estate to residential real estate. If it weren't for the loans and the fake money, home prices would be less than 1/5 of what they are right now. Maybe even a lot worse. Maybe they would be 1/10 of where they were right now. Nobody knows. But this is what happens when you have a system of fake money. Eventually, things like this happen where you just can't cover it up. You can't paper over it anymore with more money printing. And this is the result. San Francisco, going to be the new Detroit. Please let me know what you think down in comments. Also, here's more signs of carnage and that death is knocking on the door for San Francisco. 19 retailers have left the Union Square area of San Francisco. Also, the hotel industry has been in a major slump In fact, the Wall Street Journal reported that the hotel market is suffering its worst period in at least 15 years, right? So when you see these people out spending money, you think that every place you go is packed and that everybody has money. One is they're living off debt, most people. That person you see buying that expensive drink, they could be on the verge of bankruptcy for all you know, or they could be in bankruptcy, but yet a too big to fail bank issued them a credit card, so they're still able to go shop and go buy things. You see what's happening here? Right? So just because you see people out spending money doesn't mean that things are booming. It just means that fake money is used to keep everything flowing, to keep everything propped up. But see, that's a problem. When you have people spending money that they don't have, and when you have banks lending out money they don't have for people to spend money, that creates a false economic boom. It creates an illusion. And sure, they can kick the can down the road for a long, long time, but we're already starting to feel the effects of this type of operation with the high cost of living that's not coming down. We have the Fed supposedly trying to fight inflation. Now they're afraid to even do a fraction of a percent rate hike, right? So things are starting to unravel. It's getting more noticeable, I think, to everybody, because everybody that has to pay for anything, is seeing these higher costs of living. And I'll go back to this. I think this is what they should do. We should convert hotels, all these vacant commercial buildings, into, and there's a lot of them, over 50% in parts of San Francisco and New York City are vacant, like Manhattan, over 50%. There's plenty of room to convert these buildings into homeless rehabilitation centers / shelters. There's going to be a lot of things that need to be done. Like, you need to get these people off of the drugs, off of the alcohol. It's going to have to be for that to work. It's going to have to be almost a prison type environment where you have to get these people detoxed, and that's a tall order. But what are you going to do with these vacant buildings? Just let them sit empty and have them used for nothing? So I think it can be done. If you look at the other things we're spending money on, we're sending billions of dollars all over the world. So why can't it be done? You let me know down in the comments. Anyways, let's move on here. Let's talk about a couple pretty big announcements here. Bank deposits are beginning to crumble once again, or tumble. Not so much crumble, but tumble, or both. Bank deposits tumbled by $79 billion last week. The biggest drop since March 22nd. So we started to see a slowdown in people pulling their money out of the banks due to fear. But that's actually picking back up again. So the biggest withdrawal now in a 1 week span since back right after the banks started failing back in March. So how many more banks are we going to see fail? Your guess is as good as mine. I think it's going to be a lot. Remember that report we did last week where there's 4,000 banks on the watch list of possibly being ready to fail. Also, we have some economists / investors, in this case / author, Robert Kiyosaki, chiming in on the San Francisco hotel situation. The greatest real estate crash ever, 2008, was the great financial crisis. 2023 will make 2008 financial crisis look like nothing. In 2019, office towers in San Francisco were hot. In 2023, the same buildings have lost 70% of their value. This is a crash, folks. So what happens in California typically ends up going to the rest of the country. We're kind of a leading indicator, so to speak, or a canary in the coal mine. And it starts in the big cities that are way overpriced to begin with. But a lot of the problems in the bigger cities are also in smaller cities, just on a smaller scale. But this is going to expand. This is going to continue. And there's no stopping this financial collapse, folks. And for those of you that think nothing's happening, just wait. We're at the top of the roller coaster. We're still at the point where you haven't felt the G-forces yet, or the drop. But soon you'll feel it, because as we get to over the top and we start declining, that's when more and more people are going to start feeling it. And yes, a lot of people are going to be screaming, because it's going to be a hard drop. It's a slow motion collapse up until things really pick up speed. Here's another interesting fact here. A family earning $75,000 can afford only 23% of homes that are for sale. This is nationwide, so less than 1 in 4 homes. A family making $75,000. 5 years ago, the same family making $75,000 or person making $75,000 could afford 50% of all listings just 5 years ago. All right, folks, I'm headed out for today. You all know what to do. Keep stacking. We're going back to real money in the very near future. Number one thing is still silver, in my opinion, the next monetary system. But get ready for some hard times before that is implemented. Keep stacking, everybody. Peace, big love. Bye for now.